Welcome to Mishna study Masechet Pesachim Perek Chait Mishnah Aleph. Over here in this Mishnah, we're going to discuss when the head of the household slaughters a Korban Pesach for everyone. So there's a premise that this Mishnah is based on, and that Harambam brings at the end of his Perush, and that is a Baraita Shochet Ayideh Beno Ubito HaKetanim Vayideh Avdo V'Shubhato HaKina'anim Ben Midi'atan Ben Shelo Midi'atan. A person could slaughter the Korban Pesach for his family, for his household, for his slaves, whether they know about it or whether they do not know about it. So now let's jump into our Mishnah. Hayisha bisman she bevet ba'ala, right? A woman, when she's in the house of her husband, shahata le'avia, shahata le'aba'ala. Let's say her father slaughtered the Korban Pesach for her, intending for her to join, their family, and her husband also slaughtered, the Korban Pesach, intending for his wife to join, his family for Pesach, right? For the Korban Pesach. Tochal Mishel Ba'ala. Right, so here she joins her husband's party. Let's say though, she went to the first holiday after she got married. She went to her father's home, and over there, in that case, her father slaughtered for her and her husband slaughtered for her. Over here, she could go ahead and eat the Korban Pesach, whichever one she wants. Right, over here she could choose. Okay, now the Mishnah continues. Yatom sheshahatu alav apotropin. Right, if you have a yatom, it's an orphan, who the apotropin of the the caretakers for the for this orphan, they slaughtered on his behalf. So what's the din in the Mishnah? Tochal yochal makom shurotze. Right, you can eat from the place that he wants. That is the last case. If you have a slave that belongs to two different partners, right? He cannot eat from either of the two. Right? Now, why can't he eat from either of the two? Harambam points out, he says this is really talking about a case when they're really makpid, when they really they're at odds with each other. Both of these masters, they're at odds with each other, and therefore they won't let the other, the slave eat by the other person's party. But if that wasn't the case, if they were, more accepting, and then right, they forego, all that, then he could eat from whichever one he wants to, right? Even this slave. Let's say he had a slave who was partially released. Let's say he had two masters. One of them released him free, and the other one still held him as a slave. So now he's, half of him is a free person, the other half is really a slave. Lo yochal mishel rabo. He cannot eat from his master. So what does this sound like? This sounds like he could eat from his own. Right? That's what it does sound like. And that would be a proper duke from this Mishnah. But the halacha is not like that. Rather what? He's also not allowed to eat from his own, because we don't allow an eved to be half free and half slave, right? Therefore, we don't allow him to eat even from his, the free side of himself. We also let him eat. We don't allow him to eat because we don't want this slave in the status. But this Mishnah that we mentioned is according to the person that says you can leave a slave in that status of half free and half and half a slave. And that's our Mishnah.